yes, it is early afternoon, and in a bid to continue to stock up on some pantry items that perhaps I want to keep in stock, I decided to do a little bit of research, and the one item that I didn't do anything with and didn't stock up in any way was cornmeal. Now, cornmeal is not something that we've eaten a lot of. We do use it. We use it mainly to bread fish. So didn't really have a lot of cornmeal in the house, and as a matter of fact, I think I'm down to my last couple of inches in a quart-sized jar. So I have been researching the possibility of making polenta, as you may be aware if you've been watching some of my other videos. And of course, the recommendation is to use a coarser cut cornmeal in order to make polenta, right. But they do say that you can use the fine or the medium grind as well to make polenta. And the fine and the medium ground will also work for making cornbread. And I have made my first batch of cornbread, and Mark enjoyed it. And I also asked him if he would still eat it if I made it again, and he said yes, he would. If I made it, he would eat it. Okay, and with that in mind, I thought, well, I could go out and get a small bag of cornmeal specifically for polenta, and I can go out and get another small bag of cornmeal to make cornbread, or I can just buy one bag of bulk cornmeal and use it for everything. Now, it may not be the most ideal for one or the most ideal for the other, but I like the idea of buying in bulk and having a lot of something in stock, especially these days. So I did some research to try to find the closest to me restaurant supply, because the bulk bags don't seem to be available in the regular stores, and I did find one that was not too far. Certainly the Costco Business Center, way at the other end of the city, has a much better selection of just about anything for restaurant supply. I mean, that's what they do cater to. This one was a much smaller one, but it did have the cornmeal in a bulk bag. So I'm home again, and I'm going to repackage the cornmeal the same way I repackage the flour, and that is by putting it in brown lunch paper bags and then vacuum sealing them in packets, so that I'm only pulling out a small amount at a time, and the rest is vacuum sealed, and hopefully air can get in and it will keep for a long time. So that is my process for today. I will also keep some aside for some of the things that I plan to do pretty much immediately. Okay, so I've got my 8-kilogram bag of cornmeal, the yellow cornmeal, and I believe that 8 kilograms is 17.6 pounds, so somewhere in that range. That was the largest bag I was able to find fairly locally. I'm sure I can get larger ones, but I'm not going to spend the rest of my life hunting for them. This one is big enough, and should I decide I want another one, and I may, I'll just go back for a second one. Now, my intention here is to do the same thing that I did with my flour, and that is package it in brown paper bags. I've created a label for it that'll go on the outside of the bag, but on the inside of the vacuum seal bag. So this bag will go into a vacuum seal bag once I determine how much I want in there. Now, I don't necessarily want them really big and overflowing, but I am using this container just to keep this bag in place. So, okay, here we go. I'll be cutting this bag open, and rather than putting it in jars, I am vacuum sealing this. All right. I just have to be really careful that I don't knock this bag over before it is emptied out. That would not be fun. And I would say this is probably a medium grind. Medium or fine grind. It is certainly not a coarse grind. So here we go. I've got my scoop. And just be really cautious here. So probably 3 of these. No, actually I pulled it out and tested it, and I think I want to do 1 more scoop. So it'll be 4 of these scoops per bag. Okay. And yes, that is about the right quantity that I want in there. So I don't know what weight that is, but I could find out in just a minute. Okay, that is 3 pounds, 4 ounces. So that's approximately the size of the bags that we want to make. So we'll continue along here. Now, of course, these are not exact measurements, but they are close enough for my purposes. Oops. And it really doesn't take long to do this. Okay, I ended up with 5 bags, and just for curiosity's sake, I can weigh each one to see how close they are from one to the other. Okay, this one is 3.3, almost 3.4 pounds. 3.1, it's a little smaller. That one's even smaller still. 2.15, so maybe we can add a bit more to that one. 3.27. And 2.15. So we've got a couple of them that are a little bit light. So what I'm going to do is just, okay, 3.1. Just to try and get them close. Not that that's necessary at all. Okay, 2.1, 2.5. Okay, 3.1. So, and I have this half-gallon jar with some balance left over, and this is going to just be my working jar, so that I have some that available to me before I crack a vacuum seal bag. This is what I had left, and you could see it isn't even an inch in a quart-size jar. So this should do for making a few things, and when we need it I will open up one of these. Now the idea here is to seal these nice and tight, and perhaps I'm going to use a little bit. No, I don't need any tape. Just fold it over, and then I just have to cut the bags to the appropriate size here. Not quite sure what that is. The first one's always you judge, and whether if it's wrong, well, then we set it aside. Silly me. Okay, might be a bit on the small side, but we'll see if I can get this one to work. Yeah, it might not seal. No, this will not seal. Okay, so I have measurements on this bag. There are, I don't know if it's 3-inch measurements or what, so I'll just count them and make it a little larger. So I've got 1, 2, 3, I'll go for 4 of those little markings. Should be adequate. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Make sure now that this is longer based on where it starts. So I'd say there, we should be fine. Okay. Put this one aside and use it for something else. Okay, let's try this again. There should be enough bag there that seals. Now before we do that, I just want to tuck a little label in that says yellow cornmeal and packaged on today's date. Simply because I'm putting this in a brown paper bag, I have no idea what's in here unless I do label it. I can certainly label the outside of the bag, but I prefer to do it this way. Okay, let's seal this one up. That had to work for it just a little bit. It is hard as a rock. Just like when you buy your coffee that is vacuum sealed, it is extremely solid. There's no air in there. And that is what you're looking for. That is the result that you want. Okay, I'll get back to you when all 5 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are totally packaged up. Okay, I've got my 5 packages of cornmeal all packaged up, rock solid hard. I will keep an eye on them for a few days, make sure that these bags don't leak. I also will probably put a second seal on them. And so before those get put away, they will just be set aside for a day or 2. And I also have my half-gallon jar with my ready-to-use cornmeal. And this last little bit that I had, I'm not mixing this up with the new one. I will use this up first, but I will not mix the two of them together. So just to make sure that this does get used up before I start using the new one. Okay. Anyway, this is 20 from Her Homestead Skills. Hope you enjoyed this little video of how to seal up airtight some cornmeal for long-term storage. And what is long-term? This is not a huge quantity, so I may, although I'm quite happy with the storage, it will probably go in a bucket as well. All right, that's it for now.